Hello, everyone. This is Vince Kramer from Imagine Miracles, and I'm so delighted to be here with you today to share something that I am so passionate about.
And this is Mary Kramer. Are you ready to discover the life you are meant to live and then create a life full of meaning where you uniquely make a difference?
To discover and live your purposeful life full of passion, you must master your mind and understand how you create your life.
We're going to ask you to step out of your comfort zone, look from a new paradigm, new way of thinking, a new perspective or context. We're going to share some things you haven't heard before. They're not taught in school or by your family, by society as a whole. We don't talk about it.
One of the things that happens when a scientist does an experiment is they come up with some assumptions. Those are things that they believe to be true as they go forward with their experiments. We're going to ask you to hold a few assumptions through our talk together today.
We create our lives with our thoughts and feelings. The question is, are we consciously creating or are we creating on autopilot?
The second assumption that we want you to look at is life gives us wake up calls. And these wake up calls start out small and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger until they finally get our attention.
It is time for us to live the lives that we are meant to live. It is your birthright. You are unique and meant to share your genius in the world. And we believe it is no accident that we are here together today.
So let us share a little bit about how we got here. When I was younger, somewhere around 5 years old, I wanted to be a pilot and I wanted people to love each other and be happy. Unfortunately, there's some things that happened along the way that kind of put that on hold.
Unlike Vince, I felt disconnected, lost, and I had to rely on my intuition. Like all of us, we began to be taught what life was supposed to be.
Soon, fear and the way things are supposed to be took my dreams away, and for Mary, the fears and supposed to be's actually gave her direction.
I had rules that I subscribed to. Children are to be seen and not heard. Girls grow up to get married. And money brings happiness.
I also had my set of rules. For me, it was my grandfather who is most influential in my life. It was all about being the best. Anything else wasn't good enough. So I learned that big boys don't cry to compete with everyone, and only the strong survive. Well, we both learned well. In fact, we learned very well.
We each individually had it all. By society standards, we were very successful. In my case, the perfect husband, two beautiful boys, big house, real estate career, vacations, timeshares, successful business.
For me, the list was very similar to Mary's. I was able to achieve my bachelor's and master's degree, the first in my family. I had a very successful military career. I overcame my fear and became an airline pilot. The big bank account, the retirement. I stopped competing against others and started to compete against myself, always looking for what was next.
For both of us, no matter what we achieved, there was always something missing. We followed all the rules. We did everything we were supposed to do. But we still weren't happy, like we wanted to be. We were always ready to move on to the next thing, the next accomplishment, the next vacation.
As I said earlier, we all get wake up calls, though. They're either conscious or crisis. A conscious wake up, it's when you become aware that you really want something different in your life. There's got to be more than this. My relationship isn't what I'm looking for. That's noticing it and being conscious of it. As I look back, one was just knowing that there was something missing. I can't tell you how many times I said there has to be more to life than this. And I'm doing everything I was told, and I'm still not happy as I want to be. I was oblivious to or ignored the subtle wake up calls of my life, and they just kept coming. A good example of a crisis of wake up call is 9/11, and we all experienced that in some way or another. For me personally, I lost a good friend that day on Flight 93, and I actually flew the exact flight just 1 week prior. 1 week difference, and I wouldn't be here sharing with you today. But I didn't let it affect me. I followed the rules I was taught to be a strong man, a tough soldier, just press on. Just like everyone else, we just pressed on.
Vince and I had major crisis wake up calls at the exact same time. I learned that the life I was leading was going to kill me from a heart attack. I had to change my life, and it had to start with a divorce. And at the same time, Vince's wife told him she wasn't happy and wanted a divorce. These wake up calls forced us to look at our lives and decide how we wanted to live in the future.
I was really confused. A good friend of mine suggested that I talk to Mary to help me understand why my wife wanted a divorce. Mary and I had met 10 years earlier through an intro by the exact same friend. And when I first met her, I knew that there was just some kind of interesting connection between us. And even though we went our separate ways and hadn't seen each other for 10 years, the reintroduction, though, we both took as a sign and started a friendship. We were getting together monthly to share different perspectives and beliefs on things.
We finally realized we were living by everyone else's rules. We were doing everything that society and the media told us would make us happy. We were doing everything that the successful people around us were doing, and they seemed happy. We were doing everything we were told by parents and grandparents. We realized we weren't being ourselves, and to be honest, we weren't sure we even knew who we were as individuals.
When I say I learned everything I was taught well, I was serious. I was very closed minded. Mary is a very spiritual person, though, and she challenged me with concepts about life and people that I never heard before, let alone considered. I started reading about them, and I began to understand why I wasn't living the life that I desired.
I had become a man in a woman's body. I thought like a man, and I believed anyone who showed emotion was weak. Vince, with his compassion and empathy for others, showed me that I could have an open heart and still be successful and safe. I wanted to live that way, to be myself and feel that if I didn't have to fight for everything.
That's when we individually and collectively decided to invest in ourselves and invest ourselves in a way that we could start on our journeys of self discovery and empowerment. Between the two of us, we've read hundreds of books, gone to seminars and workshops by some of the top experts in the brain, quantum physics, DNA, spirituality fields, as well as vibration. And we've been mentored by Jack Canfield, Joe Dispenza, Debbie Ford, John Maxwell, and many more.
This new journey helped us find everything we were looking for: to bring me back to me, to bring Vince back to himself, to uncover who I am and what I'm here to share, and Vince the same. We use this newfound information to master our minds and to create the life that we want. It took us almost 8 years. It's a journey we're still on. We now understand our true purpose in life is to share what we've learned with you.
When I was looking for the answers to the questions that we help our clients find in our programs, it wasn't easy finding them. One piece of the puzzle was being shared by this person, another in this book, yet another by someone else, and on and on and on. We don't want you to spend 8+ years of your life searching for this life-changing information. It's still going to be your journey, but we've put it all together for you in one place to help you find your answers.
What we'll share today is for everyone. If you have realized that you want more meaning in your life, know that good enough isn't good enough, tired of living by society's or other people's rules, you are in the right place.
You're also where you need to be today if you have started on that journey and there's always something missing or someone getting in the way. You never seem to be making any real progress, 2 steps forward and 1 or maybe even 3 steps back. Or if you or something always seems to sabotage you.
Despite popular belief, you can have it all. When you are living the life you are meant to live, everything has meaning. We'll help you find your answers. And when you do, you'll find the happiness you deserve. have satisfying and supportive relationships, live an abundant and productive life.
When you live by your rules, there's less stress and you're healthier. You find and live your purpose. That's the difference you're meant to make in the world. And when you have your answers, you can design, create, and live a miracle life. Our definition of a miracle life is one where you find joy in everything you do. A life where you can't wait to get up in the morning and it keeps you up late at night because you're living your life with passion and sharing the real you with those around you and the world.
Here's what we are going to cover today. Every journey needs a starting point, and we're going to give you the best starting position by sharing the most important question in mastering your mind. We'll look at the 3 critical elements responsible for your present life and how they are major factors in the life you want to create. We'll share some tools with you on how you can get started right away in mastering your mind by being aware of what is responsible for creating the things in life you don't want.
Finally, we'll show you how to take this useful information even further in creating a lasting and powerful transformation in your life. Now, we'll teach you as much as we can in the limited time that we have together today, and then we promise to show you how you can get much more. There may be questions that come up for you as we go through the material we have to share. Please write them down and don't think about them. If you still have questions at the end of our time with you, we'll stick around and answer them. We have a lot of material to share, and I don't want you to miss any of it because you're thinking about your question. So why wake-up calls? What are we waking up to? We're waking up to the fact that we know that life has to be different than this. We're waking up to a fact that we know deep down inside ourselves that there's much, much more. There's more meaning to your life, and it's time to live your miracle life, the life you were designed to live, the life that you were meant to live. You do that by being who you're meant to be, doing what you're designed to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be changing careers. It means making most, if not all, aspects of your life an expression of your purpose. Now, your unique purpose, yes, it's yours and no one else's, is about being, not doing. It's made up of 3 parts, and that's where we run into problems. We try to find one part, our mission, and we think that we're on track with finding our purpose. But your purpose is actually 3 parts: your quintessence, your gift, and your divine intent. And to know and live your purpose, you must discover all 3 parts. Your quintessence is the real and concentrated essence of you. It's your state of being. It's who you are. It's the second question in our Discover Your Miracle Life programs. It's so important. We help you answer the question, who am I? Have you ever had the experience of feeling you know who a person is as soon as they walk in the room? That's the quintessence. You feel that energy that's being vibrated out from that person, that's being radiated out. We all have it. It's just hard for us to see our own light. The second part of your unique purpose is your gift. That's the bridge between being and doing. It's the special process that you bring to the world because of the unique combination of gifts and talents that you have. Your gift is the gifts given to you, but it's also that gift that you share with the world. Discovering your gifts and talents is a big part of your unique purpose formula. It's the steps to help you really find out who you are, why you're here, and how to live that life. You are and have been sharing your gift in everything you do your entire life. You just need to see how, and we're going to help you. Your divine intent is that specific outcome you're on earth to accomplish. It's your mission. Our clients gain insight and understanding into the question, why I am here, through our programs. That's where you uncover your divine intent. That's where you uncover your mission. It's about learning your impact on the world by finding your problem to solve, the change that you're here to make, and the challenge that you're here to undertake. So how do we find our unique purpose? How do we live the life we are meant to live? How do we live a happy, healthy, and abundant life? Most people have trouble finding their purpose because they don't know where to start and they look for the answers in all the wrong places. We find them by raising our awareness and going to the only place we can find our answers. Einstein tells us no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. So we must raise our consciousness, and that begins with mastering our minds. We have to become more aware, and that begins with mastering our minds. So what is the number one thing that you need to know to master your mind? It's to know and understand your current level of consciousness or awareness. It's to answer the question, where am I? You must know why you're creating the life that you are right now before you can move on. So as I said, we do that by answering the question, where am I? This is a starting point for your journey. If you find your answers here, you'll understand your life up to now. You'll know the transformation needed to live your life your way, your miracle life, your unique purpose. So where do you find those answers? Well, I'll tell you, you don't have to look very far. You have them all. You have all the answers. And it's in the fact that we live in an and both world, not an either or world, that you have to include all parts of you, the whole of you, in finding those answers. When I say either or, we all seem to live in an either or, and that's the current belief system in our collective consciousness. It's either good or bad, right or wrong, left or right, mine or yours. But we actually live, and science tells us this, in an and or both world. There are unlimited possibilities out there. There's enough for everyone. It's your way and my way, and there's no wrong in either one of those. So we have to consider that as we look for our answers. So let's look at that capital U at the top of the triangle. That's your connection to the universe, your connection to God or Source, whatever you want to call it. It's that I am presence of you. The big YOU down in the bottom right corner, some of us call it our intuition. It's that little voice in our head that you feel in your heart. It's your higher self. It's your soul. The big U, the real you, is who you are as an essence, separate from your experiences and relationships. It's the keeper of your purpose. The little you down there in the bottom left corner, that's the big voice or voices we hear in our head. Many times we feel that in our body. It's our ego and our belief system. The ego and the personality, that's the exact same thing. So if I use ego or personality throughout the rest of our talk, I'm talking about the exact same thing. This is how you manifest and live your purpose, the little you. What the world sees. It's the way you live in this three-dimensional world. It consists of your ego, as I said, or your personality, and your belief system. So to answer the question, where am I, we're going to look at the big U and the two parts of the little u. So these are the three critical elements that are ultimately responsible for most of your present life. And you must consider them as you go forward because they have to be major factors in the life that you want to create going forward. So you must know what creates the circumstances in your life. You must become familiar with your automatic reactions and your triggers, and you must learn your current set of beliefs and the perceptions based on them. So let's talk about the big U. The big U knows everything about you, has all the answers. It's what's steering you on your path for learning, growing, and transforming. It's your life path, and that's what the big U is what's keeping you and creating that path for you by creating circumstances to help you develop and uncover your talents and gifts, to understand who you are and why you're here. Like I said, it knows your unique purpose. The little u consists of the ego, your personality, and your belief system. So the ego, it maintains your identity. It's there to keep you safe from all those things that you fear you can't take care of yourself. It gets your needs met, and it helps you interpret the information that comes in. And a lot of the information, it either takes in because it supports its beliefs, or it pushes them out, and we have the tendency not to learn anymore or not to grow. The ego is like a computer operating system that you personally developed at a young age. You designed it out of perceived necessity to ensure you got the things most important to you when you were little. You wanted to be loved, you wanted to be safe, you wanted to be accepted, and you wanted to have all of your needs met. The second part of the little you that we're going to talk about is the belief system. And the belief system is like a pair of glasses with colored lenses. It's the filter that we look at our life through. Our entire life is seen through this filter. If you can imagine having a pair of rose-colored glasses, as you look through your glasses, everything had that rose tint. Well, that's how your belief system affects you. It's used to interpret your world, the circumstances in it. It's responsible for all your automatic thoughts. So because of that, it keeps you in a very, very small box. Much of your belief system is repressed or suppressed in the subconscious. So when you're living in the present moment, and I know that's a scary thing to talk about the present moment, but when you're living in the present moment, some of these beliefs don't show themselves. But when you're thinking about the present or you're thinking about the past, and you're really not living in the present moment, that's when the belief systems come up. And that's why it's so important for us to live in the present moment. So why is it so important for us to find the answers to where am I? To have a transformed life, we have to live a different way. And to live a different way, we have to know how we're living right now, if we go back to what Einstein said. And because we don't live in the present moment, and we're living 85% of our life on autopilot, we have to learn how to live in the present moment. But we also have to learn how to reprogram that autopilot. So when we're in the subconscious, when the subconscious is making the decisions for us, bringing up our thoughts, they're thoughts that support us. So your answers to the question, where am I, will be a snapshot of where you are in this very moment. They'll give you tremendous insight into your past, into the present, and also into your future. It is the start of the path to be a happy, healthy, and abundant person and to live life that way. The answers will help bring meaning into your life in making a difference and creating your own rules. So when we look at the past answering the question, where am I, will help you learn about all the things, the people and situations that have gone into creating your life to this point. So there are no mistakes. Every experience has and is taking you where you're supposed to be. I'd like to tell you about a client of ours, Pam. Pam was borderline suicide and believed life was happening to her. She was stuck because she felt helpless and out of control. In looking at her past, she could see that life wasn't happening to her, it was actually happening because of her. And in finding the gifts in that, she was able to completely change her life. And if you ask her, she would say she completely rewrote her past. And I truly believe that by doing this work, you can change your past. When you realize where the perceptions and judgments come from by uncovering old wounds and fears, you really open your life up. You can actually change the past, like I just said, and reprogram your subconscious. So answering the question, where am I, allows you to look at where that belief system came from. Allow you to look at where you've developed parts of your ego to protect yourself. Beliefs aren't real. So if you can discover their origin and look at them from an adult perspective, it opens up the world to you. You can really start to see where a 2-year-old might be making decisions for you because of that's when you form that individual belief. When we answer the question, where am I, it can help you in the present by helping you better understand how and why you're living the life the way you are, where you're holding yourself back and where you're self-sabotaging. So if you begin to look for the gift and growth opportunities in the circumstances of your life, instead of looking for the negative things, it really starts opening the doors for you to see that life can be much, much different than you're seeing it right now. You begin to notice your triggers. When I say triggers, it's those things that really ignite the ego to protect you. So in doing that, you can change your experience by interrupting those old patterns. Beliefs are thoughts you think over and over again. That's how they become beliefs. So as you become aware of those old thoughts, you can stop them and then choose ones you want to think, and ones that will begin to take you in the direction that you want to go. You'll begin to form new beliefs. It's kind of reprogramming your operating system, and you're the one that has that special code to let you into reprogram it. Let me share a little story about a belief. I had a belief growing up and well into my adult years that no one could love me the way I wanted to be loved. That came from hearing my mother say that over and over and over again through my childhood. Well, when I learned that that thought was based on a belief from that child hearing that story over and over again, I was able to start allowing myself to be loved by people the way that they could love me, and I stopped sabotaging my relationships. By answering the question, where am I? You can really help change your future, because you'll learn where you want to work with the ego to create the life you deserve and to choose more empowering beliefs to help you. You create your circumstances from the place of opportunity. Then you put your attention on what supports and empowers you. And if you bring your beliefs, you bring your ego in to support that, there's no telling where you can go. Be aware of the situations where triggers happen and be prepared to respond instead of react. That's how it helps you when it comes to your ego. It allows you to stop those automatic reactions from happening. A perfect example of that is one of our clients, Jerry. Jerry didn't like himself at all, and he definitely didn't like the automatic way he reacted to things. He was constantly fighting against his ego. Well, fighting against the ego doesn't work. So we helped Jerry understand how the ego was protecting him using the Enneagram. The Enneagram's a three-dimensional personality model that really brings in your frequency, your vibration, where you are. When you're at the lowest points, your ego acts a certain way. When you're at your highest point, the ego works in a whole different way. So we taught Jerry how to use that to, and then through raising his vibration, he became a better partner with his ego. He was able to attract more into his life and began to master his mind and change his life. So we don't want to get rid of the ego. We want to learn how to become a partner with it. And we do that through a lot of our programs, help you really get in touch with the ego. You choose to look at your beliefs and relationships to your goals and choose one that support your goals. So I said earlier, beliefs aren't real. So if beliefs aren't real, why can't we look for the beliefs that support us in how we want to move forward in life? Live from empowering beliefs that support us in our chosen life. So when you understand where you are in this moment, you'll become more aware of the reactions and beliefs that have been limiting you. Once you understand the obstacles and whether they come from the ego or your belief system, you can go beyond them or actually make the obstacles work for you. You can become the real you. And as the observer of your life, you can look at the circumstances from a new perspective and then create a new reality, your reality. So how about if I show you a few tangible ways to start that journey? So I'd like to share with you 3 exercises you can do at home to begin to master your mind and get your answers to where am I? How does that sound? Great. In these exercises, you'll begin to answer the question and understand where you are right now in this very moment. So if you choose to work with us, or as you expand on your own, you'll want to keep coming back to this question because it will be a continuous microscope, if you will, to where you are right now as you're continuously learning and going through the growing processes in this expansion. You'll uncover more and more each time you ask the question. So remember, you want to keep coming back to this question. So before we finish today, for those of you ready to learn more, I'll show you how to get other ways and tools that you can use to begin to work deeper with your ego, even beyond these 3 exercises I'm going to show you, to help you discover even your most entrenched beliefs and to create your life within a new context, as we said earlier, a context that supports you and empowers you as you go through this self-discovery. When we do our VIP days, and VIP days are when we bring people in to work one-on-one with me, or one-on-one, or one-on-two, with Mary and I, or we have full days with groups just like yours here, where we can have that whole day. We help them connect through several sources for their personal answer, using different methods to help them get the answers to the most direct way. Well, we want you to get your answers in the way that best works for you, so we teach 4 models, all designed to answer even the toughest questions. We use conscious discovery, active imagination, guided meditation, and voice dialogue. The exercises that we're going to share with you today are all based on conscious discovery. So let's look at your path discovery exercise, the big U. Everything that you've created in your life up to now has given you something to help you move along your path, to use as a springboard, or to learn more about yourself in a way that will help you and has helped you take the next step that you choose to take. So for this exercise, I want to ask you, do you believe you are the creator of your reality? If you said yes, great. If you said no, can you come from the place right now that it could be true? Because in saying yes to either one of those, it will really help you bring the most out of these exercises. So let's look at the steps of your path discovery exercise. No need to take notes. I'll give you a link at the end of this presentation to download all 3 of them that I'm going to share today. First, step 1, think of a circumstance that you consider very negative in your past. Just make sure it's far enough in the past where you no longer have an emotional reaction to it right now. Something that didn't have the best outcome, something that may have caused you pain or you felt hopeless. And write those circumstances down. You can start out with 1 if you want, but as you go deeper and deeper in this exercise, I recommend writing down several of them. Then step 2, can you believe that you created it? Or at least is there a possibility that you may have played a part in the creation of it somehow? In taking ownership, it really opens the door. Did you learn anything from the situation? Was there something you learned about yourself? Was there something that you learned about others? Was there something in the fear that could cause you to actually take a step forward in an empowered way? Step 4, can you find a gift in it? There's a gift in everything. So if you can find the gift where it helped you discover a talent, where it helped you develop a gift, when you find the gift in it, it really opens the door to changing how you look at your past. Step 5, have you benefited by it in any way? Where has your life changed? How has it affected you and who's in your life? How is it affecting you and who's no longer in your life? Look at from the outlook, or look at from the place that there is a benefit in everything that you do. And step 6, has it changed your life or put you on a new path? And that should be a little bit easier to answer than the other ones, because you can see how your life is different right after that situation. Science tells us there's no mistakes or coincidences in our lives. There's always a gift or benefit in everything that we create or co-create. And everything that's in our life, we either created or co-created. So use this exercise to find the gift in life's circumstances. Become aware of where they helped you learn, expand, and develop your unique talents and gifts, where they helped you change your life in ways that you probably never would have, and look at the benefits that have come from that. In step 3 of our Your Unique Purpose formula, you learn to uncover and acknowledge your talents and gifts. And one big part of it in understanding what these are is because you've already learned the gifts that have happened in your life in the past. The second exercise I'd like to share with you is the Meet the Gatekeeper exercise. This exercise works with the ego. Now, ego is an essential part of us, and we need to understand it so we can work with it. We need the ego to survive. It's a necessity. It is necessary for us to create in the physical world. It's our checks and balance systems, and you must know and understand that it intimately helps us master our mind. So the Meet the Gatekeeper exercise, let's look at the tool that will really help you become familiar with your ego. Choose one of these areas and just choose one of the 4: relationships, happiness, health, or abundance. Now I want you to think of 2 or 3 situations for step 2 that you've experienced that didn't go so well and ended up the same. It's very important that we look at something or the situations that ended in the same results. You acted the same way. You treated somebody the exact same way, because we're looking for patterns. Step 3 is write them down, and then write down your actions in the situation that helped you create the results. Once again, it's looking for your part in these situations that will really help open the doors to where they're formed, and where you can change your ego and work with your personality going forward. Step 4, where are the commonalities in your actions? Were they conscious actions or thoughts, or did they just happen automatically? It's important to find out if we're acting automatically. Step 5, where was the perceived danger? And was there real danger once you find the perceived danger? And then step 6, can you tie this reaction to an event in your past? It's looking for that place where that initial automatic reaction was formed. Now, this is a great tool to use when you've noticed you're having the same results in life. The awareness it brings can change your life as you notice you're living on autopilot. So it's a very powerful exercise. Mary and I have used it often in our journeys. It's helped completely change our relationships with our families, and it's really helped us in our relationship with each other. So you can use this exercise to explore those family dynamics that resulted in those painful, hurtful holiday episodes that no one intends to happen. Now I'd like to share the third exercise, discovering your limited beliefs exercise. Of course, this works with your belief system, and it's a life-changing tool. It is so important that it's a part of and it's the major part of our Discover Your Beliefs course. Once you identify your beliefs, you can decide if they limit you or empower you, and then move on from there. So as we make a conscious decision on whether we want to continue believing something or transform it into something more empowering, it really opens our lives up to experiencing a whole new world. So let's look at the steps of the Discovering Your Limited Belief exercise. First, pick an area of your life where you feel you are sabotaged or there's roadblocks always getting in your way. Then I'd like you to write down the beliefs that you have in this area, i.e., let's talk about a little bit about my belief that no one could love me the way that I wanted to be loved. That's a great belief right there. The other belief would be everybody has to love the same way. Another belief would be if you don't love me the way I want, then you don't love me. Those are the kind of beliefs that you'll be writing down for your given situation. Step 3, when you have listed them all, I'd like you to put a 3 in front of the ones that you strongly believe, a 2 in the ones that you mostly believe, and a 1 in front of those that you somewhat believe. And as you go through these exercises, I highly suggest that you come back. But for the first couple times through, just take the list of the ones that you assigned a 3 for. That's the step 4. And then ask yourself if that belief is affecting you and affecting what you want. Is it limiting you in any way? And then step 5, ask yourself if the belief is true. Once again, you get to that point, if the belief isn't true, then you can move on from it. But the ones that you believe are true, those are the ones that are your biggest limiters. Some of our most limiting beliefs we hold on to as a collective are, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, there's many I can'ts. They affect how you look at life and if you'll jump in or take a chance, and then, or not take a chance and take a step backwards and keep yourself safe. Well, this exercise will create awareness of some of your beliefs. Much of the time, awareness is enough to change a belief. Other times, choosing and writing down a more empowering belief works. Yet others, going through some specifically designed reframing exercises. So now that you have a better understanding of where you are and how you got here, you can use these tools to find many of your answers to the questions, where am I? And like I said, I'm going to give you a link for a download so you can go through these exercises at home and really start your process. So I know we've covered a lot already, and I know it can be challenging to digest it all and apply it to yourself. Who feels like they're drowning? Now, before I share with you the step-by-step formula you can use to find your purpose and discover your miracle life, I want to let you know how you can get some one-on-one support for this if it's resonating with you, to kind of throw you a life preserver. So I've created a unique opportunity for you today to get a private one-on-one, your life, your way breakthrough session at no cost. This session will be with either Mary or I, and it's a $500 value that we're going to give you for free, just for being here today, for investing in yourself. As you can imagine, offering a one-on-one session takes a lot of time, so we have 8 openings available for those of you who would like to book right away. So the first 8 people who qualify will be contacted via email within 48 hours and given the opportunity to schedule your session. Sessions will be scheduled on a first-come, first-served basis, so it's in your best interest to schedule right away. If we don't hear from you within 3 days, we're going to have to give your session away to the next person on the waiting list. So if you're afraid that you're not going to be in the top 8, please don't hesitate to apply for your session, because it happens all the time where session after session opens up. So take advantage of it. And if you're listening to this in recording, we have these sessions opening up all the time throughout our schedule. So please don't hesitate to apply. Remember, there's no cost involved. It's a $500 value, but there is one catch, and I said it a few times already, that you need to qualify. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how you qualify to secure one of the 8 spots in a second. So I invite you to go right now to www.imaginemiracles.com/I am ready and fill out the questionnaire if you're interested. It's okay for you to multitask right now in this portion if you want to be sure to secure your spot for a Your Life, Your Weight breakthrough session. So go there right now and I'll walk you through the qualifications. The outtime of our time together through a session, you'll know what your miracle life looks like. You'll understand the number one thing standing in your way and what to do about it. And you'll understand why what you've been doing isn't working, and be clear on the next critical action to take. So is everyone up on the page? Let me tell you how you qualify for one of these sessions. Let's go through the list together. So I'm a pilot. I love checklists. It's always a read and do checklist. So I'm going to read the statement and be sure to check off each statement that applies to you. So you qualify if I am ready to put myself first and make the life I deserve a priority. If that's you, check it off. I am an action taker and ready to make changes in my life. Once again, if it's you, check it off. I am tired of living by everyone else's rules. I feel that there has to be more to life than I'm experiencing. That was a big one for me. Check it off. I am tired of searching to find meaning in my life. Is that you? I'm ready to not let anything stand in the way of my true happiness. I am ready to invest the time, energy, and money necessary to have the life I want. Check it off. I highly value this offer, and I commit to show up for my session ready to take action on the suggestions that I receive. So it's very important for you to make sure that you fill in your first and last name also, and then select the submit button. You'll receive a questionnaire from us in a very short amount of time to help us better serve you in your session. So if you feel you qualify, go there right now and apply. Remember, the first 8 people who qualify will get their Your Life, Your Way breakthrough session with either Mary or I. And I promise you this, even if we never talk again after this session, you'll at least know exactly what you need to do to live the life you're meant to live. So please take action right now. It really upsets Mary and I when we get emails from people because they missed out by not filling out the questionnaire in time. So do it right now. I know this might not be a concern of yours, but sometimes people worry that we're going to try to sell them something. Well, that's not our style. Of course, if you want to learn more of how it would look to work with us, we can certainly discuss that on the call. However, our main objective is to have you walk away with your next critical action towards living your miracle life. That's why we're here. Okay, now that you have a way to get more help, let me show you all the exact steps you need to take to use today's immediately useful information and turn it into a long and lasting transformation in your life. We teach a step-by-step process that we call your unique purpose formula. It's a roadmap to discover what you need to live life the way you were meant to live it. The formula has 5 steps and they build on each other. You can use it by taking each step in order, and that's the best way to get the most immediate results. Or you can use one step at a time and jump around in the steps. Either way, I suggest doing all 5 steps in making sure that you can really start living the life that you're meant to live. Each one of these 5 steps is a module in our Discover Your Miracle Life courses. The formula will help you once and for all discover your purpose. I know so many of you have been searching for your purpose. This will walk you through and help you find each of those 3 areas of your purpose. In these 5 steps, you'll finally discover the one thing that can and will change your life. Step one is what we covered today, we shared with you today. So how many of you can see how if you applied it right now to your life, it can actually help you change your life? Can you already focus more on the outcomes of what you want to see in your life by going through that process? Discovering where I am is the beginning. It's the origin of your roadmap. Purpose is much more than your why. It's your quintessence, your gift, your divine intent. It's about your ego and your belief systems. You can find not just these answers, but any answers for yourself as you go through the processes and learn really how to tap into that trinity of you, the capital U, the big U, and the small u. Step 2, who am I? It's who you truly are, not who others expect you to be, not who you built yourself to be through your personalities through the mask that you wear, not who you were taught to be, but who you truly are. That's what you want to do in step 2, find those answers. To find who you truly are, you can just look around yourself. People you attract into your life, just by observing them, you'll find your answers to who you are. When you see what you don't like, you're showing yourself parts of yourself that you need to learn to love. When you see what you do like, you're showing those amazing things about you that it's time for you to start to own. In step 2, you'll learn more about your ego and how to partner with it. You'll learn the answers from a knowing place, answers from a place where they're readily available to you. We'll teach you ways to get in touch with that knowing part of you. You'll actually put a name to it and learn to recognize it in yourself. And when you discover who you are, the vibration or the frequency that you put out, that's what you attract back to you. Step 3, what do I have to offer? That's your gift. Not just the gift bestowed on you, but the gift you're meant to share with the world. It's where your uniqueness comes from. So by living and expanding your entire life, you've developed these gifts and talents. In doing that, you've discovered and developed a combination of gifts and talents that are so unique. No one else in the entire world, no one in this world of 7+ billion people have the same unique combination of gifts and talents that you have. It's what you're good at. It's what you enjoy. You feel good about yourself, and the people around you feel good about themselves. The experience that you've had in life leads to finding these gifts and talents. Step 4, why am I here? It's the answer you've been waiting for your entire life. And nobody's going to show it up at the door with it, but you're going to find it by walking through these steps. And you'll find it in step 4 as you do these steps, especially when you do them in order. It'll help you answer the question on a physical and spiritual level. It will truly change your life. This step opens doors and allows you to understand how you fit, where you belong, and how you will bring meaning into your life. It's your mission, your divine intent. You'll find meaning and no longer feel lost. You'll find what you uniquely have to share and who you're supposed to share it with. We will look at the people who are looking for what you bring into the world and how to attract them. It isn't about finding a new way or a new group. It's about finding your way in your group. You might already be experiencing both and not realizing it. Step 5, how do I live on purpose? It brings it all together. You've spent a lifetime searching for the answers to the question, who am I and why am I here? Have you thought about what you would do and how you would do it once you had the answers? In this step are the most important things you need to know to start living your newfound purpose. Not that you have your own answers to the prior, now that you have your own answers to the prior question, what do you want to do? How do you want to be in the world? So you need to use the tools that you've learned in all aspects of your life to help you bring your gifts to the world. And to get the most out of the information you have uncovered in the first 4 modules, this module is so important. It'll help you to continue to grow, expand from this new information. You'll find yourself, and you want to then surround yourself with people that are like-minded and like-hearted. This will be your support for your journey. You want to create a community. That's a huge part of step 5. So as I said earlier, it's as easy and as difficult as following these 5 steps. Now I know it can seem daunting, but your happiness is worth it. If you have any concerns or want to see how these steps can transform your life, your family, or your business, I recommend you grab one of these one-on-one sessions at imaginemiracles.com/I-am-ready right now. Remember, we can only offer sessions to the first 8 that qualify from this group. So go to imaginemiracles.com/I-am-ready right now. Fill out the form in full. Make sure it's in full if you're ready to live a happy, healthy, and abundant life. Once you submit the form, if you qualify, you'll be emailed shortly. You must schedule a session within 3 days or it'll be opened up to someone on the waiting list. So secure your spot right now. It's our gift to you for being at this training today. Take advantage of it. After our session, you'll know what you're living or having purpose in your life would look like. You will walk away with the number one thing standing in the way of you living your miracle life and the next critical action to take in designing and living the life that you want. As I said earlier, I believe it is no accident that we are here today together. If you believe that too, we look forward to our next step together. Mary and I want to thank you for sharing your valuable time with us today. We want to thank you for investing this time in yourself. You're the most important investment in your life. You are a unique individual with gifts and talents in a combination that no one else has. It's your birthright to live your miracle life with passion and purpose. You're important to us. You're important to the world. We need you, and we need your work. Make sure you get the support that you need. Thank you.